Good evening, ladies and gentlemen. Welcome to the Taft City Council Successor Agency Joint Regular Meeting for Tuesday, July 19th, 2016 here at Taft City Hall Chambers. If you'll please check your phones and put them on vibrate or mute, we'd appreciate that. Tonight we'll have the Pledge of Allegiance, and I'll lead that, and invocation will be by Jim Stiegel with the Community Christian Fellowship. So if you'll join me and please rise. Place our nation's flag and hand over your heart and pledge.
I pledge allegiance to the flag of the United States of America and to the republic for which it stands, one nation, under God, indivisible, with liberty and justice for all.
Shall we pray? Father in heaven, we come to you tonight giving you the thanks and the praise for the many blessings that you give us and for your great love for us. We thank you especially tonight for the men and women who are dedicated to putting their strength and their energy towards what is best for our city, Father. We give you the thanks for that. We pray that your hand be in the meeting tonight, that those things that are decided will be what is best indeed for our city. And we'll give you the thanks and the praise. And we pray it in the name of your Son, our Lord and Savior, Jesus Christ. Amen.
Amen. Amen. Thank you, Jim. Good to see you back. Madam Clerk, will you take roll call, please?
Yes. Mayor Miller,
Here.
Mayor Pro Tem Noor,
Here.
Councilmember Cryer,
Here.
Councilmember Bryant,
Here.
and Councilmember Hill. Here.
Okay, I'm trying to get back in the saddle. Can't remember last time I was here being able to run a meeting, so I thank Mayor Pro Tem Noor for filling in for me.
My pleasure.
Okay, so let's move on to item number 1, a public hearing, consideration of ordinance regarding food safety education. Mr. Jones.
Thank you, Mayor. In an effort to promote a healthy community, including the promotion of healthy activities, the city is taking steps to amend the municipal code. The ordinance will add Section 8 to Chapter 1.5 of Title 3 of the Taft Municipal Code, adopting Kern County Ordinance Number G-8612 regarding food safety education.
Okay, thank you. Recommendation is we conduct a public hearing, so I'll open a public hearing. Is anybody wishing to come forward and speak on behalf or against this proposed ordinance? Seeing none, I'll close the public hearing, and I'll entertain a motion to approve an ordinance entitled, "An Ordinance of the Taft City Council of the City of Taft, adding Section 8 to Chapter 1.5 of Title 3 to the Taft Municipal Code, which adopts ordinance number G-8612 of the Board of Supervisors of the County of Kern, State of California, adding Chapter 839 to Title 8 of the Kern County Ordinance Code regarding food safety education for the first reading by the title only and reading of such to be waived."
Motion.
Second.
Mr. Cryer, do you have any
This is makes
discussion?
us in compliance with Kern County Health Code. What makes it,
Yeah, it makes the county uniform so all the restaurants know what to expect as far as food education, and then the county's offered to help police the restaurants to make sure they're complying with this issue, and it's to keep the public safe from foodborne illnesses and stuff.
What they did in the past, I see there's A's and B's, or A's and...
They've inspected them, but they didn't have the authority, I guess, to enforce certain rules they added to the education part for food handlers.
And we don't have people who knows how to inspect restaurants either, so.
So this ordinance would, they would be enforcing the restaurants to have food handler certificates for the people that work there, including food managers that manage the restaurant.
Okay, thank you.
Councilmember Hill?
I have no comment.
Councilmember Bryant?
No comment, thank you, Mr. Mayor.
And I have no comment. So, Madam Clerk, will you take roll call, please?
Yes. Mayor Pro Tem Noor,
Yes.
Councilmember Cryer,
Yes.
Councilmember Bryant,
Yes.
Councilmember Hill,
Yes.
and Mayor Miller.
Yes, and that passes on a 5-0 vote. All right, item number 2, public hearing. Consideration of an ordinance regarding psychoactive bath salts, psychoactive herbal incense drugs, and other synthetic drugs. Mr. Jones.
Thank you, Mayor. In continuing effort to promote a healthy community, including the promotion of healthy activities, the city is taking steps to amend our municipal code. This ordinance will add Chapter 7, Section 12, Title 3 to the Taft Municipal Code, adopting Kern County Ordinance Number G8602 regarding psychoactive bath salts, psychoactive herbal incense, spice, and other synthetic drugs. This is in addition to the City of Taft ordinances that we already have in place. This is a request from the county to help us regulate our convenience stores here locally. So they're going to come in and do checks, and they want to have the ability, if they come there and check it and it's there, they can act on it. We also do our own checking, the Taft Police Department. So it's kind of doubling up on a
Well,
program.
it's still in all, these facilities are within the county, not only the city of Taft, but in the county.
Yeah,
So-
and that's another step to make the whole county uniform across the board
Right.
and not allow this stuff.
Yeah.
But we didn't take our ability off for the police department to go search, take business license, issue fines and so forth. We're just adding their ability to do the same thing.
All right. Very cool. Okay. Recommendation is that we conduct a public hearing, so open a public hearing on this ordinance and request anybody come forward speaking on behalf of, or for, or against. Seeing nobody willing to come forward, I'll close the public hearing and move on to item 2, I'll entertain a motion to approve an ordinance entitled, an ordinance of the Taft City Council, of the City of Taft, adding Chapter 7, Section 12 of Title 3 to the Taft Municipal Code, which adopts ordinance number G-8602 of the Board of Supervisors of the County of Kern, State of California, adding Chapter 9.44 to Title 9 of the Kern County Ordinance Code regarding psychoactive bath salts, psychoactive herbal incense, spice, and other synthetic drugs for the first reading by title only, and the reading of such be waived.
Motion. Second.
Have a motion and a second. Ms. Hill?
No comment. This is good.
Mr. Bryant?
No further comment.
Pryor?
No comment?
Mr. Norrie?
I do indeed, Mr. Mayor. I am glad that the city of Taft recognized the problem with these poisons, and we acted on it as a city before the county did, before the city of Bakersfield did. I was at a social event when I myself, the police chief, Ed Whiting, and the city manager were approached by a Bakersfield city councilman. And when he found out he had requested just a seat at our table, and then we introduced ourselves, he recognized the chief's name. And then after we introduced ourselves and told him who we were, he immediately said, "You guys are the ones, you're the ones that passed that ordinance about bath salts. I'd love to do it in the city of Bakersfield." And so he pressed forward with it. This will bring all of the areas into a parallel enforcement type action, because one of the things that we had to do as a city was talk to our supervisor in the 4th District and let him know that as we pushed this poison and those worthless scumbags that would peddle this poison out of the city limits, they immediately sought refuge in the county. And so then the county had to do something about it as well. So just to make it clear to everybody, we identified it, we acted upon it because it was in the best interest of the people of the city of Taft. That is why we are here, and we are very glad to see that the city of Bakersfield followed through, as did the county of Kern. That's all I have. Thank you, Mr. Mayor.
Very good. Bath salts and spice and other of those types of synthetic drugs are illegal in city of Taft and county of Kern. So and even if they change their formularity on those drugs, this ordinance prevents that drug to be legal. So this is a good thing. And like Mayor Pro Tem Nora said, they were just getting rid of these horrible drugs that anybody could have bought. You don't have to be 21 or 18 to buy those things, so it's a good deal. So, Madam Clerk, would you take roll call, please?
Yes. Mayor Pro Tem Noor,
Absolutely, yes.
Councilmember Cryer.
Yes.
Councilmember Bryant.
Yes.
Councilmember Hill.
Yes.
And Mayor Miller.
And yes, and that passed on a 5-0 vote. Item number 3 is a public hearing consideration of a ordinance relating to tobacco retailers permit. Staff has asked that this item be pulled for some little bit of change in the language, and it will be brought to the first meeting in October. August. August, yeah. I don't want to wait till October. That'd be dumb. Okay, move on to item number 4, a proclamation, Parks Make Life Better Month, and I've asked Mayor Pro Tem Noor to read that proclamation.
Thank you, Mr. Mayor. It is with my great pleasure that I read this. The City of Taft, State of California, proclamation declaring July 2016 Parks Make Life Better Month. Whereas Parks and Recreation make lives and communities better now and in the future, and whereas it is established through statewide public opinion research, 98% of California households visit a local park at least once a year. 2 in 3 households visit a park once a month. 50% of households participate in an organized recreation program, and most park use is with family and friends. And whereas residents value recreation as it provides positive alternatives for children and youth to reduce crime and mischief, especially during non-school hours, it promotes the arts, it increases social connections, aids in therapy, and promotes lifelong learning. And whereas residents value their parks for access to outdoor spaces for children and adults to play and be active, exercise, and group sports. And whereas parks provide access to the serenity and the inspiration of nature and outdoor spaces, as well as preserve and protect the historic, natural, and cultural resources in our community. And whereas July is celebrated as Parks and Recreation Month, and all residents are urged to recognize that Parks and Recreation enriches the lives of its residents and visitors, as well as adding value to the community's homes and neighborhoods. Now therefore, be it proclaimed, the City Council of the City of Taft does hereby proclaim July 2016 as Parks Make Life Better Month, and in doing so urges all its citizens to use and enjoy its parks, trails, open space facilities, and recreation opportunities. Dated this 19th day of July 2016, signed by Mayor Randy Miller and the 4 City Council members. I will tell you on a personal note, I began my public service career on the Parks and Rec Board right here in the City of Taft. I was honored to be a part of that. I enjoyed every minute of it. It's not just the youth, it is everybody. Whether you're 6 months old or you're 99 years old, everybody benefits from a healthy Parks and Rec district. And we as a city are very proud of our association with and the quality of the Parks and Rec district that we have here in the City of Taft. So I did have the opportunity to serve that Parks and Rec board and was proud to be a part of it. And I am very proud to have had the opportunity to read this also, Mr. Mayor. And I believe we have 2 representatives from the Parks and Rec district, Stephanie House and Les Clark Jr., who I would ask to please come forward and accept this. Here, chairs out of the way.
We start playing a little bit of Tetris now. We ordered like a Rubik's Cube one time.
Jump on in there.
All right.
You got this over here. Gotta put a little over here.
That's all right, that's all right. You're standing in front of us. You block my profile.
You don't have to duck down behind him. You stand up tall, that's all right.
Hey, that's one of my favorite pictures is Les, Craig Jones, John Sturgeon. Here we go. 1, 2, 3. Okay.
Thank you.
Say something, please.
Do we want to stay? Oh, at the down.
Les?
Thank you.
Thank you very much so much.
Absolutely.
Appreciate it.
Stephanie, thank you.
Thank you, Orchel.
Nice job.
Thank you, sir. Thank you, Malcolm.
While they were making their way down there, if I would have known how much the district had improved and had such a beautiful facility, I would have burned that old facility down a long time ago. I didn't mean to say that. The other thing, we've entered into a great partnership with the Recreation District on sharing facilities and people and manpower and equipment and stuff, and it's been a great partnership all the way around. And I want to really compliment the district on making a dime stretch. You guys just seem to know how to do it, and we're so proud of what you're doing for the facilities in the Taft area, and especially the facilities you took over from the county, and you've really showed them how it's done. So thank you.
Well, thank you very
Stephanie.
much to the council and to our community. We're very proud to be able to serve not only the city of Taft, but our entire recreation district, which stretches all the way to Tutman and all the way out to Belridge. So we're a pretty large district, and we just love what we do, and we're happy to be a part of the community. And I would like to echo your words. We appreciate our camaraderie with the city and the things that we're able to do together. Government is nice when they work together and can play nice. So we appreciate the proclamation, and we appreciate being a part of everything that's great about Taft.
Thank you.
Thank you very much.
Thank you very much.
You want to say? Thanks, Steph, and it's Les Clark III, not Junior.
I beg your pardon. Stand
Fourth or
Stand correct.
fifth or sixth or something.
Call him Junior.
Okay, thank you so much. Item number 5, citizen request for public comments. This is time and place for the general public to address the city council on matters within its jurisdiction. State law prohibits the council from addressing any issue not previously included on the agenda. Council may receive comment and set the matter for a subsequent meeting. Please limit comments to 5 minutes, and today we have Tony Miranda with Consent and Habitat for Community.
Calendar for Habitat for Humanity.
Okay, Habitat. Oh, it's on the consent calendar, Habitat for Humanity. So Tony, would you like to come forward? Or would you want to wait and we can pull it off the agenda and of the consent agenda? You want to speak then or you want to speak now?
Speak now.
Come on down. If you'll introduce yourself and your address, please.
Good evening. My name is Tony Miranda. I live at 5905 Friant Drive in Bakersfield, California. Good evening, Mr. Mayor, council members. My name is Tony Miranda, and I'm the newish executive director for Habitat for Humanity here in Kern County. I've been here for about a year, and soon after arriving, when I was looking to understand the kind of projects that the affiliate here in Kern County had been involved with, I learned that they had some great projects here in the city of Taft, and so soon after arriving, we got in touch with your great staff, who's been extremely helpful to us in talking about what kinds of projects could be possible here. And so we are very excited that the folks from the city brought to us a couple pieces of property that they had been talking to Habitat about for a number of years, and said that they would be interested in talking to us about providing some lots for us. And so we're looking at 2 lots in the city. And so we're very excited. We're kind of putting our final pieces together in terms of planning and when we're going to be able to start recruiting for families and thinking about doing construction. And so that's going to be happening very soon. And we're just very grateful to have the opportunity to be working in partnership with you again and building with great families here in the city of Taft. And we'll be glad to field
It's a great deal for the city of Taft because we have these empty lots that are not doing any good for anybody, and then we can do some infill and provide some homes for some affordable homes. It's a win-win all the way around, and that we can start earning some tax, property tax off those homes, and rather than it being on the tax roll. So, or I mean on our roll. So it's a good deal. We're really proud to be affiliated with you guys, and hopefully you have any timetables that once we get all the paperwork done. And
yeah, we're actually just had interviews today. We're recruiting for a homeowner recruitment person. So we're going to get that person on board. And there's one project in Bakersfield that we need to lock in so we can set the schedule. But we'd like to actually start moving forward with family recruitment in the beginning phases of construction within the next 30 to 60 days. So we're ready to start the process here with just a few little pieces we need to put together.
We already have the plans drawn for the house.
Oh, okay.
Yeah.
Well, one of the things you've asked in the past, too, is different organizations to come down and help. I know you have a crew of some professional people that come over and retired folks that, do that, but they need some people down, and they'll teach you how to saw a 2x4 and do some hammering and at least get the framework up. So if anybody wants to join in on that, once we pick a date and get a start date, we'll work with you and maybe we can start recruiting folks.
Yeah, no, that would be great. Again, Yvette and the team have been very, very helpful. And we'll get our schedule together so we can let the community know when we're going to be building, what the dates are, and we'd love your support in that.
Yeah, there we go. Okay. Well, Tony, thank you so much, and we look forward to getting the paperwork done. Once we get through the resolution tonight, then that'll get it started and get her done. Get started. All right,
Great.
thank you, sir.
Thank you for your support.
Okay, thank you. Tony was the only person on the agenda tonight, so we'll move on to item 6, council statements, non-action. Councilmember Hill.
I have none tonight. Thank you, Mayor.
Councilmember Bryant.
Thank you, Mr. Mayor. To piggyback a little bit on what we did at item 4, and not to beat a dead horse, but I feel like I've got a very intricate knowledge of all the things that go on at the rec as far as somebody who benefits from many different perspectives, not only as a resident, which we all benefit from, increased property values, quality of life in this area, but also seeing the direct impact on local youth. We happen to be lessee from the rec district when it comes to our beautiful Little League fields down here off of Cedar Street. And for the last 2 years, after the district put a lot of money into renovating them, we have continued to reap the benefits, and I try every time I can to pass this along to the rec district, but I don't think you can ever say thank you enough. Because people look at Taft on a map and they think, where in the heck is that and why would I want to go there? People leave here thinking, oh my God, how have I never seen this place before? I've told it to Les, I think, twice this weekend. We hosted people from Greeley to Porterville, Wasco, Arvin. Those people come out here and they think, how in the world do you get this, and how do we pay for something like that? How do you guys pay for it? By the grace of God, we're able to make it work, and we appreciate the rec. I know me personally, and the organizations I represent definitely appreciate it. We could not make it work without you guys. We would not shine the way we do without you guys. So you guys are as much a part of that organization. And Steph, you and your staff are a big part of that when it comes to the administrative piece. So not just on game days, but it's leading up to game day. I can't tell you guys how much I appreciate it. Every time I see those board members, I try to tell them thank you, but if you guys would please pass it along, I would appreciate it. I don't know if it's appropriate for me to do this, but I definitely wanted to voice my support for the chief and his suggestions for consideration for our local school districts when it comes to concealed carry on the premises. As a person who has children in the schools now, I would feel much safer knowing they're protected by someone who's been trained and has been qualified and has been can't think of the word.
Vetted.
Vetted, there you go, thank you. Thank you very much. To protect them within a moment's notice. And God bless the police, they're going to get there as soon as they can, but anyone else who can intervene and potentially save a life, potentially save my child's life, has my full support. So Chief, good luck, and you got my support. But when we're talking about law enforcement, I'm not going to make this too political, but to every police officer, to every sheriff's deputy, to every person who sits behind a badge and goes to work on our behalf every day, thank you. I don't care if you work in corrections, if you work in Bakersfield, or if you work in San Francisco, or wherever else. Thank you for your service. We appreciate you. And that's all I have, Mr. Mayor. Thank you.
Thank you. Mr. Cryer.
Thank you, Mayor. With sadness, one of our members, our Rotarian, passed away, Bob Connors. He's a fixture of Taft. I give our condolences to the family and prayers. I had a lot of fond memories when we have our meetings and just singing his song, Donny Boy and all that. I'll always remember that the rest of my life, his tenor. It was just has a beautiful voice, and it's just, another great one, left us. Second, I want to say dittos to Councilmember Bryant about with the police, what he had to say about the police department and stuff, and our prayers go out to the hard work that they do, because we're not in normal times no more. It's abnormal, and it's sad what we're going through, but the police department throughout our country have our prayers and our thoughts, and continue what you guys do. Don't back down, protect us, and keep us safe. And that's all I have to say, Mayor.
Thank you. Councilmember Nora.
Thank you, Mr. Mayor. Let me officially welcome you back, by the way, Mr. Mayor. It's nice to have you up here and have 5 of us up here, so welcome home. Hope you enjoyed your vacation. In regard to community support for law enforcement, since we had our last meeting, some really horrible things have been happening around the world. One of them reminds us that evil will find a way to destroy people, whether or not they have an edged weapon or a high-cap magazine or a black gun or anything else. Evil is always going to be somewhere. And those who choose to believe that that is not the truth prepare themselves to be victims as opposed to survivors. So situational awareness is the first key to your own safety and that of those around you. I proved that just today, and I want to thank Chief Ed Whiting and his fantastic crew for rounding up some scumbags and taking the bad guys in and doing their job. So thank you very much, Chief, and thank the troops for that. There are those out there that cast shadows and dispersions over law enforcement as a whole. I could not disagree with them more. The city of Taft was declared one of the 5 safest cities in these United States by a federal group, not by us. That's not a claim that we laid to, but we were told, and I agree with that. We have a fine police force, and they are very in tune to what's going on in our community. To think of living in these United States without local law enforcement, I mean, would you really want to live in anarchy, or do you want the military to police the streets on any given day, or perhaps the UN even? No, we don't want that. We live in the United States of America, and we live free, and we want to be confident. And this community, you can walk from one end to the other, and if it's dark and it's late and you want to walk to the movies or you want to walk to the Parks and Rec, I myself feel very safe doing that, and we're very fortunate in that respect. But we need to take care of ourselves, and we certainly need to support those who watch over our safe being. And that is your local law enforcement. So I will give you a great big public thank you to the chief and his staff and everybody who does that. And they have my support and support of this council, and they deserve yours as well. That's all I have tonight. Thank you, Mr. Mayor.
Thank you. It seems like it's been a long time since I've been here. But I appreciate your carrying on. I was just totally surprised that the city didn't fall apart when I was gone. I don't get it. Talking about the rec, I mean, we have really got a fantastic Parks and Recreation Department. Bar none, I dare say there's any better. And it's the same with our schools. I mean, and we're becoming a destination city. We're not a pass-through city anymore. People are coming to stay overnight, stay the weekend, and then checking things out. And that's what we want. And like I said, when people get here and they see what's going on, these people that came from Lindsay or wherever, wow, what are you guys doing? We're a hidden jewel, and we're finally beginning to be discovered, and that's a very, very good thing. As Mr. Nora alluded to, we've had some horrible things going on, and what is really happening too is the news media is trying to give us instant gratification. They want instant answers. So when something happens, they go to somebody and they try to elicit a comment or two. And a lot of people are not prepared, and they say things they shouldn't they, and that's from the president on down. We should have a cooling off period. The tragedy that happened in Baton Rouge was handled very good, because they came out, said, we're having this press conference, we're not taking any questions, and if you hear anything from anybody else, it didn't come, and you shouldn't believe it. And then they had a press conference the next day, and then the next day. And that's the way it should happen, and people should just keep their mouths shut. And that's including, politicians especially, and especially people who don't know what's going on or don't know all the facts. And one thing is we all remember is, sticks and stone may break my bones and words never hurt me. Well, words hurt, and police are human. And when you get in their face and call them all kinds of names and stuff, you got to be pretty strong-willed, because most people couldn't take it. And the police are expected to do that. And the vile things that they come across and hear on their daily rounds of the city is just, it's remarkable that we have the restraint that we do, and the resolve that we have, and the people that are in law enforcement that are continuing to do a great job day in, day out. So I'll echo Councilman Nor's comments. Chief, thanks. Thanks for everything that you guys do. We're very proud of our city. We're one of the safest cities, if not the safest city in Kern County, one of the safest cities in California, and we've been recognized nationally as one of the safest cities in the nation due to the fact of our ratio of police officers to citizens. So again, thank you. If you'll relay it on from the council, we continually want to pat you guys on the back and candidly know that you're doing a great job and you represent the city in the best way possible. That's all I have. Move on to Planning Commission report. Jerry is in the audience. Jerry, if you introduce yourself, your address, please.
Jerry Livingston, one of the members of the Planning Commission. We had, two hearings at our last Planning Commission meeting. One was for the approval of a conditional use permit for Maria's on Kern, over in the Albertson Shopping Center. They've applied for ABC license and needed to go through the conditional use permit process. That was approved by the Planning Commission. When we make those approvals, one of the things the staff does is check with the police chief and make sure that the area and the place is appropriate and they're not having issues already with alcohol. So once that's been done, the commission looks at just the normal process of going through a conditional use permit. The other item up was a conditional use permit to place a temporary, I don't know what I would call it, awning on the La Villa Market up on Center Street. That was denied by the Planning Commission, mainly because there had been other issues, including some violations of not building code, but some permit violations, and we wanted those to be settled prior to coming back. Also, given that that's going to be an outdoor structure, and even though the intent was for it to be temporary Friday, Saturday, Sunday use, we wanted to see a much better drawing of what the awning would look like, since it's going to essentially be attached to the back portion of the building. So the message, I think, has been sent by the commission through Mark to
What was the intent of this temporary structure for?
The idea was to have a fruits and vegetable stand.
Oh.
It works so that it would be attached to the back portion of the building near one of the doors where they could bring the fruits and vegetables out every day. It was in the last 8 or 9 parking stalls along the side of the building back towards the alley. No concern with that was really raised at this meeting, given the issues related to violations of code that had occurred prior to that. So again, the issue was we denied that, it was unanimously denied, and then they asked for them to come back in 6 months after they'd cleaned up whatever violations that had been identified by staff. And again, a better drawing so we can see what this item, we don't want it to look like it's shacked onto the side of the building, a bunch of We want it to look good. I mean, we're on Center Street, that's supposed to be the center point of our town, and that particular lot is also a parking lot that we want to make sure is still being used appropriately. That was the two issues before the commission, and thank you for your time.
All right, thank you, Jerry. Item number 8 is the departmental reports. Do we have any reports from staff? Oh, Madam Clerk, you have a...
Yes, I just wanted to announce and let everybody know that we have just entered the nomination period for the upcoming election, and that papers can be pulled for the open seats between now and August 12th. And we have 2 city council seats, the city clerk seat and the city treasurer, all up for election this year.
Thank you. So if anybody out there wishing to get involved, then come down, draw papers, it doesn't cost anything. Just,
No.
Yvette will guide you through the whole process, so we look forward to that. All right, well then, item number 9, city manager statements. Mr. Jones, welcome back, by the way. You were gone too. And the city didn't fall apart either, huh?
What's up with that? We spread it Mayor, I don't have any statements tonight.
Okay, thank you. Item number 10, city attorney statements.
No statement, Mr. Mayor, thank you.
Thank you. Item number 11, future agenda requests. Anybody requesting a future agenda request?
None this evening. Thank you, Mr. Mayor.
All right. Okay, and then we move on to the consent calendars, item 12 through 18. All items listed on the consent calendar shall be considered routine and will be enacted by one roll call vote. There will be no separate discussion of these items unless a member of the city council requests specific items to be removed from the consent calendar for separate action. Any item removed from the consent calendar will be considered after regular business items. Are there any items on the consent calendar that any member of the public would like to comment on? Okay, so we had Tony and you're okay so far. Okay, good. So here we go. Item number 12, minutes for the June 21st regular meeting and the June 21st special meeting. Was I here for that? No? Okay. I'll have to abstain for that. Item 13, payment of bills. About $1.5 million. Item 14, treasury reports. Motion to receive and file the treasury report dated June 22nd, 2016 for the month of April 2016. Item 15, authorization to sell properties and enter into an agreement for development with Habitat for Humanity Golden Empire. And that's two pieces of property. One, we will basically donate the property, and the other property, I think, is in the amount of $6,500. And that's just basically getting our money back. Item 16, correctional facility care health staffing, and this is approve the positions of a extra help temporary dental hygienist and an extra help licensed vocational nurse for the MCCF. Item 17, renewal of the Taft City Schools SRO MOU for 2 years, and that's for a police officer to be working with the Taft City School District. Item 18, staff has requested that item be pulled for contract language change, and that'll be...
You can't pull it. Number 18?
A member of the council can pull it. So staff can't pull it. But after
You recommended it be pulled, so...
Right, a member of the council then can pull it or...
Okay, well, I'll recommend that we pull it. Do I have to?
You have my concurrence?
We have concurrence. Are we okay?
We're fine.
All right. Well, how about that item 3? We pulled that without...
We're fine with that.
Okay. All right. So is any staff or council member wishing an item to be pulled from the consent calendar?
No, Mr. Mayor, thank
We'll
you.
make it official with 18, right?
Correct.
Okay. So, here we go. Then I'll entertain a motion to approve the consent calendar items 12, 13, 14, 15, 16, and 17.
Motion.
Second.
We have a motion and a second. Madam Clerk, will you take roll call, please?
Mayor Pro Tem North,
Yes.
Councilmember Crier,
Yes.
Councilmember Bryant,
Yes.
Councilmember Hill,
Yes.
and Mayor Miller.
Yes, and I abstain on item, oops, sorry, I got lost here, it's 12, as I did not attend those meetings. Okay, well, that brings us to item 19, approve travel,
Still want to hear 18?
are we discussing it?
We got to vote on it.
Discuss number 18 and then vote on it.
Oh, okay, I thought we were pulling it.
Just from the consent calendar, Mr. Mayor.
Okay, oh, okay. Okay, item 18 has been pulled from the consent calendar. Item 18 is consult contract for PREA audit, the Taft Modified Community Correctional Facility. Mr. Jones.
Thank you, Mayor. The Prison Rape Elimination Act of 2013 PREA requires that the City of Taft Modified Community Correctional Facility be audited to ensure its compliance. This item was pulled to correct typos in the contract that have names of Delano and Shafter's references, and there should be Taft. So it's just a typo error to clean up. So that's what I had to be pulled.
So what we would be looking for, Mr. Mayor, is if the council decides to approve it, a motion, as it's stated here, contingent upon correcting those typos to remove Delano and Shafter and replace it with Taft.
Okay. All right, well, then the recommendation is a motion to approve the PREA auditor contract with costs not to exceed $8,986 and authorize the city manager and the police chief to sign the contract.
Motion is amended.
I'll second that motion.
Motion is second. Brian, you
No further comment. I'm just glad we caught it.
No further comment. Thank you, Mr. Mayor.
Okay, I have none. All right, so we're going to have a motion to approve the contract with the disputed language to be taken out. Okay. Madam Clerk, will you take roll call, please?
Yes. Mayor Pro Tem North,
Yes.
Councilmember Crier,
Yes.
Councilmember Bryant,
Yes.
Councilmember Hill,
Yes.
and Mayor Miller.
Yes, and that passes on a 5-0 vote. Which brings us to item 19. Okay, here we go. Approved travel expense for council members to attend the League of California Cities Annual Conference and is selecting a voting delegate. Mr. Jones.
Thank you, Mayor. The 2016 League of Cities Annual Conference is scheduled for October 5th through October 7th, 2016 at the Long Beach Convention Center. The conference will hold their annual business meeting on Friday, October 7th, 2016 at noon. To ensure the city of Taft is represented and has a voice at the annual business meeting, it will be necessary to select a voting delegate to attend the business meeting. It is also necessary to select an alternate voting delegate in the event the delegate is unable to attend the meeting. Guys, don't all raise your hands at once.
Is everybody aware of gotten some literature about the League of Cities? Is anybody wishing to attend?
I'll be here. I'm not going to be around in Pennsylvania.
With your shoes on yet.
I-
If I go, I won't be able to have my store open, so I have to.
Oh, okay. Mr. Moore?
I know I will not be able to attend. I'm sorry, I have.
I'm ready to look in.
Okay, and I'm not going to be attending, so Mr.
You're gonna-
Crier is willing to attend on the city's behalf. And then, so we need a motion to approve and appropriate funds from the general funds for registration, meals, transportation, and other incidental expenses for the council member who wishes to attend the 2016 League of California Cities Annual Conference and the League of California Cities Annual Business Meeting in Long Beach.
Make that motion for Councilmember Crier.
Second that.
I have a motion and a second. Is there any other discussion? Madam Clerk, will you take roll call, please?
Yes. Mayor Pro Tem North,
Yes.
Councilmember Crier,
Yes.
Councilmember Bryant,
Yes.
Councilmember Hill,
Yes.
and Mayor Miller.
Yes. Okay. We also need to make a motion to select a voting delegate and an alternate, well, we won't have an alternate, for the League of California Cities Annual Business Meeting.
We'll make that same motion.
So we have a motion to select Councilman Crier to be the voting delegate.
Okay.
Motion and a second. Being no further discussion, Madam Clerk, will you take roll call, please?
Mayor Pro Tem Noor,
Yes.
Councilmember Cryer,
Yes.
Councilmember Bryant,
Yes.
Councilmember Hill,
Yes.
and Mayor Miller.
Yes, and that passes, both of those pass on a 5-0 vote. All right, Mr. Cryer, thank you for stepping up. We're coming to a close of our regular meeting, and we'll be going into closed session for item A, conference with labor negotiator Craig Jones, city manager, government code section 54957.6, all units. And item B, conference with legal counsel, anticipated litigation, government code section 54956.9B, one potential case. Ladies and gentlemen, thank you for attending. We're going into closed session.